10 Stoic truths about the Epstein files, what they reveal about power and corruption. You've seen the headlines, you've scrolled the posts, you've heard the names: Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Prince Andrew, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Jean-Luc Brunel, and now thousands of pages of files finally released after years of waiting. Some of you have read every page, some of you have skimmed, some of you have avoided it entirely because it's too dark, too sickening, too much. And through it all, a feeling has been building, not just about Epstein, about everything, about power, about justice, about whether the system actually works, about whether the powerful ever really pay. Maybe you felt it too, that creeping cynicism, that whisper that says, they're all the same, nothing will happen, justice is a joke, why even care? I've felt it. I think anyone paying attention has. But here's what I want to offer you today. Not more names, not more speculation, not more partisan takes. Something else. 10 truths, Stoic truths, about what the Epstein files actually reveal. Not about conspiracies, about human nature, about power, about corruption, about us. Because the Stoics lived through something similar. They watched emperors abuse power. They watched the rich escape justice. They watched the system protect itself. And they found a way to stay human through it all. Not by looking away, by looking deeper. So if you're tired of the noise and ready for something real, stay with me. If you're tired of cynicism and ready for wisdom, stay with me. If you're tired of feeling helpless and ready to understand what you can actually control, stay with me. 10 truths, no sides, no spin, just what the Stoics would want us to see. Hit like if you're staying awake through all of this. Drop one word in the comments, the one thing you're feeling right now. Anger, disgust, hopelessness, confusion, name it. Subscribe because these truths need to be remembered. Not just today, every day. Let's begin. Truth number 1. Some truths take longer than your lifetime. Jeffrey Epstein was arrested in 2019, but his crimes started decades earlier. Victims came forward in 2005. Nothing happened. More came forward, still nothing. Years passed, decades passed, and the truth stayed buried. Sound familiar? It should. Because this is how power works. It doesn't fight in the open. It hides. It delays. It outlasts. It bets that you'll get tired, give up, look away. And most people do. But here's the Stoic truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote something that should be engraved on your heart. Nature loves to reveal what is hidden. Not on your timeline, not on the victim's timeline, on reality's timeline. Think about that. The truth has weight. Lies are light. They float for a while, but eventually, gravity wins. Every cover-up eventually crumbles. Every secret eventually surfaces. Every hidden thing eventually sees light. It took 15 years for some victims to be heard, 20 years, 30 years. Some didn't live long enough, and that is a tragedy. A real, deep, unforgivable tragedy. But the truth still came, not because the system worked, because truth has weight. Seneca wrote, "Time reveals the truth, not justice, not the system. Time." The Stoics didn't believe in quick fixes. They believed in playing the long game. They knew that some truths take longer than your lifetime. That doesn't mean they don't matter. It means you have to care about something bigger than your own timeline. What does this mean for you today? It means stop waiting for justice to happen on your schedule. It means stop giving up because results are slow. It means keep telling the truth, keep standing with victims, keep demanding accountability, not because it will work tomorrow, but because it's right. The truth takes time. That doesn't mean it won't come. Truth number 2. You can't control what's hidden. You can control what you do with what's revealed. 50 pages missing, redactions everywhere, names blacked out, documents withheld. The response from many is rage. They're hiding it. They're protecting themselves. We'll never know the full truth. And that rage makes sense. It's justified. When the powerful hide evidence, when they protect their own, when they redact the names of the guilty, anger is natural. But here's where Stoicism changes everything. Epictetus, born a slave, beaten and broken, said the most powerful words ever spoken about situations like this. Some things are in our control and others not. What's in your control? Whether you read the files that are released, whether you listen to victims, whether you demand accountability from your own representatives, whether you stay informed, whether you stay engaged, whether you stay human. What's not in your control? The missing pages, the redactions, the political games, the DOJ's decisions, the court's timelines, the outcomes. Most people spend 90% of their energy on the 10% they can't control. They obsess over what's hidden and ignore what's revealed. They scream at what they can't change and miss what they can. The Stoic does the opposite. They focus on what's in front of them, the known, the revealed, the actionable. We already know enough. We know powerful people exploited children. We know institutions looked away. We know victims were silenced. We know the system failed. You don't need every redacted page to know that's wrong. You don't need every name to know that's evil. So stop obsessing over what's hidden. Start acting on what's known. Talk about the victims. Support organizations helping survivors. Vote for people who take this seriously. Have conversations that keep the truth alive. That's in your control. That's yours. Don't waste your energy on the rest. Truth number 3. Power protects itself. That's why you must stay awake. This is the oldest story in human history. The strong prey on the weak. The powerful protect their own. The system bends to serve those who run it. Egypt had pharaohs who were gods. Rome had emperors who could kill anyone. The church had popes who were untouchable. Monarchs ruled for centuries. Oligarchs own countries today. Power protecting itself is not new. It's not a conspiracy, it's a pattern. It's what power does. Seneca watched this happen under Nero. He saw his friends killed. He saw the innocent executed. He saw the powerful escape. And eventually, Nero ordered Seneca's own death. He wrote, "Fire tests gold, and misfortune tests brave men." Power protects itself. That's the fire. That's the misfortune. And it tests you. Will you look away? Will you stay silent? Will you decide it's hopeless and go back to your life? Or will you stay awake? The Stoics didn't believe they could fix everything. They knew they couldn't. But they also knew they couldn't use that as an excuse to do nothing. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor himself, wrote, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." Wrestling, because you're constantly being pushed, tested, thrown off balance, and you have to keep getting up, keep engaging, keep fighting. Power protects itself. That's not a reason to give up. That's a reason to stay awake. Stay awake means pay attention. Stay awake means don't let them hide in the dark. Stay awake means talk about it. Stay awake means when you see injustice, you name it. Not because you'll fix it overnight, because looking away is how they win. Truth number 4. Cynicism is their real victory. Don't give it to them. This is the most important truth in this entire video. I need you to hear it deeply. The powerful want you cynical. Think about it. What happens when you believe everyone's corrupt? You stop voting. You stop caring. You stop paying attention. You stop demanding accountability. You hand them the keys and say, "Take it. You're all the same anyway." That's not wisdom. That's their victory. Cynicism feels smart. It feels like you've figured it out, like you're not naive, like you see through the game. But cynicism is actually the easiest path. It requires nothing from you. No engagement, no hope, no action. Just detachment, just dismissal, just scrolling past. The Stoics had a different word, not cynicism, Sophrosiny, clear-eyed realism without despair. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you think everyone's corrupt, you'll see corruption everywhere, and eventually you'll become part of it. Because if nothing matters, why try? If everyone's crooked, why be honest? If justice is a joke, why care? That's poison, and the powerful are counting on you drinking it. Here's the truth. Not everyone is corrupt. There are judges who care. There are prosecutors who fight. There are journalists who risk everything. There are victims who never gave up. There are ordinary people who stayed awake. They exist. They matter. They're not the majority, maybe, but they're real. The Stoics believed in focusing on what's good, not ignoring evil, but not letting evil define your view of everything. Seneca said, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Don't waste your humanity on cynicism. Stay engaged, stay hopeful, not naively, realistically, with open eyes, but with a heart that still cares. That's how you win. That's how they lose. Truth number 5. When institutions fail, character is the only court that matters. The DOJ failed. The FBI failed. The courts failed. The media failed. The political system failed. Victims came forward. Nothing happened. Evidence existed. It was ignored. Years passed. Decades passed. And the powerful remain free. This is the hardest truth to face. Institutions are not magic. They're run by people. And people are flawed. They make mistakes. They protect their own. They look away. The Stoics knew this intimately. They lived under emperors who killed arbitrarily. They saw courts that were corrupt. They watched the innocent suffer and the guilty escape. And they found something that couldn't be taken from them. Epictetus said, "No one can harm your mind without your consent." The institutions failed, but your character, that's yours. No one can touch it without your permission. When justice doesn't come from the outside, it must come from the inside. You know what's right. You know what's wrong. You don't need a verdict to tell you. The victims know. They lived it. They didn't need a court to tell them they were wronged. They knew. They always knew. Your job is not to wait for institutions to validate what's true. Your job is to live your truth, to act with integrity, to be the justice you want to see. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could be good today. Instead, you choose to wait for tomorrow." Don't wait for the system to be good. Be good yourself. Don't wait for justice to arrive. Be just yourself. Don't wait for institutions to work. Let your character be the court that matters. That's not enough, I know. It doesn't fix the system. It doesn't help the victims the way they deserve. But it's something. And sometimes, something is all we have. Truth number 6. The victims are real. Don't let politics erase them. Here's what's happened to the Epstein story. It became political. Trump supporters point at Clinton. Clinton supporters point at Trump. Republicans blame Democrats. Democrats blame Republicans. Pundits argue. Comment sections explode. And somewhere in the middle, the victims become invisible. Over 1,000 documented victims. Children, teenagers, runaways, dreamers, people who were trafficked, abused, discarded. Their names aren't trending. Their faces aren't on cable news. Their pain isn't the point of the arguments. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings no benefit to the bee." We are connected. Their suffering diminishes us all. When we turn this into a partisan football, we do what Epstein's friends couldn't do. We make the victims disappear. The Stoics believed in justice, not just justice for people like us, justice for everyone, especially the vulnerable, especially those without power. Seneca said, "Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." Every victim is a human being. Every one of them deserved protection. Every one of them was failed. By their families, by their communities, by the system, by us. Before you share another partisan take, ask, does this serve the victims or just my team? Before you argue about which politician is worse, ask, am I centering the people who actually suffered? Before you make this about your side winning, ask, have I forgotten who this is really about? The victims are real. Don't let politics erase them. Truth number 7. Patience is not passivity, it's active waiting. Some victims waited 30 years for any acknowledgement. 30 years. Most of their lives. Waiting. And in that waiting, many people would have given up, would have decided it's hopeless, would have stopped speaking. They didn't. That's not passivity. That's active waiting. That's patience as a discipline. Seneca said, it's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. The victims didn't waste their time. They kept talking, kept fighting, kept demanding, even when nothing happened, even when no one listened, even when decades passed. That's Stoic patience, not sitting still, staying engaged while understanding that justice moves at its own pace. Marcus Aurelius wrote, nature is like a skilled artist. She doesn't rush. She works with time, with patience, with precision. Justice is the same. It moves slowly, sometimes too slowly, sometimes tragically slowly, but it moves faster when people don't look away. The victims kept looking, they kept speaking, they kept the truth alive, and eventually the files came. Not fast enough, not completely, but they came. Your job is the same. Stay patient, stay active, stay engaged. Not because you'll see results tomorrow, because giving up is not an option. Truth number 8. You don't need to know everything to know enough. 50 pages missing, redactions everywhere, names withheld. And people say, we don't know the full truth. We can't judge until we know everything. The Stoics would laugh at this, bitterly. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid with regard to external things. You don't need every fact to know what's right. You don't need every name to know what's wrong. We already know enough. We know powerful people exploited children. We know victims were silenced. We know institutions protected the guilty. We know justice was delayed for decades. What more do you need? The desire for all the facts is often a trap, a way to avoid acting on what you already know, a way to stay comfortable while the world burns. Seneca wrote, we are more often frightened than hurt. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. The same applies here. You're frightened that you don't know everything, but you're not hurt by what's unknown. You're hurt by what's known. And what's known is enough. Enough to be angry, enough to act, enough to stand with victims, enough to demand better. Stop waiting for every page. Act on what you have. Truth number 9. You are tested by what you do when no one's watching. The Epstein files are about what happens when power has no accountability, when the powerful do whatever they want because no one stops them. But your life is something different. Your life is about what you do when no one's watching. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you could be good today. Instead, you choose to wait for tomorrow. When no one's watching, do you stay honest? When no one's looking, do you stay kind? When no one will know, do you stay true? The powerful failed this test. They did evil in secret, hoping no one would find out. And eventually, someone did. You have the same test every day. Smaller stakes maybe, but the same test. How do you treat people who can't do anything for you? How do you act when there's no reward? What do you do when you could get away with it? The Stoics believe that character is built in these moments, not in the spotlight, in the dark, when no one's watching. Seneca said, you should be your own spectator. Watch yourself, judge yourself, hold yourself accountable. Because if you won't, who will? The powerful thought no one was watching. They were wrong. You will be too if you think that way. Truth number 10. Hope is a discipline, not naivety. After everything we've talked about, you might feel hopeless. The system failed. Victims waited decades. Powerful people escaped. Corruption won. What's the point of hope? Here's what the Stoics understood. Hope is not believing everything will work out. That's not hope. That's wishful thinking. Hope is the discipline of acting like justice matters, even when justice seems impossible. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." Your thoughts can make this story about despair, or they can make it about something else. About the victims who never gave up, about the journalists who kept digging, about the ordinary people who stayed awake. That's not naivety, that's choice. Seneca, facing death at Nero's command, didn't lose hope. Not because he thought he'd be saved, because he knew his character mattered more than his survival. Hope is not about outcomes. Hope is about who you become in the waiting. The victims hoped for 30 years. Some didn't live to see the files. Their hope wasn't rewarded with justice, but their hope kept them human, kept them speaking, kept them fighting. That's discipline. That's stoicism. That's real hope. You can have it too. Not because the system will work, because you will, because you'll stay awake, because you'll stay engaged, because you'll keep telling the truth. That's hope, and no one can take it from you. You made it, all the way through, 10 truths about something dark, and you stayed. That says something about you. It says you're not looking away. It says you're willing to face hard things. It says you're still human in a world that makes it easy to stop caring. Remember what we covered. Some truths take longer than your lifetime. You can't control what's hidden. You can control what you do with what's revealed. Power protects itself. That's why you must stay awake. Cynicism is their victory. Don't give it to them. When institutions fail, character is the only court that matters. The victims are real. Don't let politics erase them. Patience is not passivity. It's active waiting. You don't need to know everything to know enough. You're tested by what you do when no one's watching. And hope is a discipline, not naivety. This is not about fixing everything. It's about staying human through everything. Before you go, drop a comment. What do you think about the Epstein files? Share this with someone who needs to remember that hope is possible. Subscribe. This is daily practice. You need these reminders. We all do. Come back when the cynicism creeps in. Let these words be your anchor. You are worthy. You are enough. You are staying awake. And that matters more than you know.